So hi friends, in this lecture we are going to learn about what are sensors and what are the type of sensors that we are going to use in our daily life, in the industrial life, in the instrumentation, how these sensors are being an important role in our daily usage. So I myself D. Sri Vishnuvardhan, I am studying EC Engineering BTech in VTP University, Amravati. So let's start our lecture. So first let's learn about what is a sensor. It is a device that converts signal from one energy domain to electrical energy domain. So what is one energy domain mean? So energy domain means like any mechanical energy or a physical energy that is being converted into an electrical energy domain. Means converting let's take an example of a mechanical energy. Mechanical energy means we have some forces like a force, like a Pascal's pressure, frequency, or any other energy domain that is being converted into electrical energy, means like current, voltage, and etc. So, these are some of the basic instrumentational sensors that we use in our industries. So, there are several sensors like color sensor, gas sensor, LDR sensor, proximity sensor, and etc. So all these sensors are being used in not only like in industrial purpose but also in our daily life. There are so many sensors being embedded on your phone, and some sensors are being embedded on your TV, refrigerator, AC. Like there are several instruments, like there are several electronic gadgets are being embedded with these sensors. But many of them don't look at them because all these were like inside them. So if you take an example of a mobile, there are several sensors like accelerometric sensor, GPS sensor, and many light emitting sensors like brightness detectors. All these are like the sensors being embedded on your phone. So okay, what is the most effective sensor in the world? Yes, it's correct. The human senses are the most efficient sensors in the world. The five senses to the human, like eye, nose, tongue, ear, and skin, these were the primary basis of any sensor because all the sensors be work on this particular theory only. So let's go with the first type of human sensing. In the first type of human sensing, here we are going to learn about eye. Eye is also a basic path for many of the optical sensors, where some sensors like optical sensing, IR based, and optical based sensors that we are using in our vehicles and that we are using in the like any other cameras. So all these were sensors that works on the principle of an eye that we need to mainly focus on. Yes, the second one, the type of human sensing we are going to see is ear. Ear is like an audible sensor, means where the sound is being detected. Okay, we all know that any audio signal which is being passed or which is being heard by a human, all these were like the electromagnetic waves, where these type of sonic waves being sensed by our ear, where a small bone which is present in our ear is sensing all these all these waves, frequency waves, and these are being converted into electrical signals, and these signals are being passed to the brain using a nerves, like a nerves which are present in the which are connected to the ear to the brain. So these are some type of sensors. So here we can see this is a sonic wave detector where the sonic waves are being detected, and these detected frequency waves are being connected into the electrical signal. And this was also same principle but has a higher voltage, means higher frequency can be detected. And this is a typically a sonic, like a audio sensing device. So all these were being used in our even in our mobiles, refrigerators, or any TVs, projectors. All these sensors are being used. Yes. Now we are going to see how nose is being used for a human for sensing. Any human can use his nose for sensing the smell. So how these type of have you ever thought of like how these smell detecting devices anywhere? Yes, these type of smell detecting devices are basically present in any like fire exit operations, because whenever there is a fire or any leakage of gas, LPG or CNG, any type of this emergency situations occur, all these smell detecting sensors being used, or the gas detecting sensors in our normal language. So whenever there is a gas leakage or a fire or anything else, these sensors have some layer which has a which are absorbing all this smell. Means not just smell, means here we need to think of the particles of gas. If these particles of gas are being absorbed on this layer of this smell detecting sensor, there will be an activating of some type of current. So this whenever there is a occurrence of current, we are easy to see the flow of current in the gas sensor. So we can say that there is presence of some unnatural gas, so that we alternatively connect some uh, like some buzzers or any type of alarms, so that that is an existing path that we use nowadays. And the fourth type is of sensing is tongue. So have you ever thought how if there is a sensor with which can tell the taste? Okay, up to now we have seen no other instrumentation part has a this tasting sensor, because we don't use them in our daily life like in mobiles or ACs or any other TVs. These type of sensors are being used by the food sec means the food testing people, because whenever there is an unnaturality or any spoilage of food, or any certain factory is being produced the false food, all these type of taste sensing and the chemical testing sensors being used by the food testing people, means like the that we have like FSAI India or any other sensing instruments. So these type of sensor, if you see here, this is very large instrument, so this costs more, so normal people does not use this type of taste sensing, but for your example I am showing you here. So the other type of sensing we are going to learn is touch sensor. Touch sensor is the most interesting example, because this touch sensor is being used in your mobiles. So whenever you use a touch mobile like a smartphone or Android, that one Apple or any other phone, they use this touch sensor, because this touch sensor, if you see here, this touch sensor has a sensing component. Whenever we use our finger or any other vibrations that touch to this plate, there will be certain amount of current being released. So whenever there is a release of current, we are going to say that there is certain amount of being touch in touch is being applied on this particular plate. So like this touch sensor is also being used in our daily life. So now we have learned all the five human sensing basics, how human sensing is being a basic protocol for many of the sensors, and how they are being improved day by day. So naturally now I have said how these are being classified in a human form. But now if we are going into technical part, classification of sensor is made into three parts: resistive sensor, capacitive sensor, and inductive sensor. So resistive sensor, by the name we can know that it is basic principle which works like a resistor that we use in our daily circuit basis. And capacitive sensor means like it's a simple example of a capacitor. Inductive sensor means it's just an example of an inductor. So on these three basic principles, these three sensors are being worked. So first let us learn briefly what is a resistive sensor and what are the types of resistive sensors. Okay, what are resistive sensors? A resistive sensor is a transducer or an electromechanical device that converts mechanical change such as displacement into electrical signal that can be monitored after conditioning. So in the first slide of on this presentation, we have learned that any other energy that is being converted into electrical energy. So the same depicts here. So there is a displacement. As I said, there is a mechanical energy. Here displacement is also considered to be a mechanical energy that is being converted into electrical signal. Not neitherly it should be a displacement means a mechanical. It can be of any other source. So whenever there is a change in displacement or any other change, mechanical change or any other change that is being converted into electrical, that is called as resistive sensor. Resistive type of sensors are the most common type of sensors in the instrumentation part. So other than the capacitive and inductive, resistive sensors are the most simplest form of sensors that are being used in any factory, because whenever we see an example of a boiler or any other device like a containers or any flow meters, all these works on the principle of resistive sensor only, because these are the most commonly used sensors and most easy to understand, most easy to convert from one energy form to the another energy form, and the constructive basis was also very less. So in all these conditions, potentiometric sensors is the most common example of the resistive sensor. So so we have, as I said, there was different type of resistive sensors. Potentiometric sensor means like potentiometer, you may learn in your 11th or 12th class that potentiometer is a simple, like a change, which is instrument that use it to change the voltage. But how that voltage device is being used as sensor, that we'll learn in the upcoming slides. So strain gauge, thermistors, photoresistors, thermocouples are some other kind of examples of resistive sensors. Now let us learn what is the theory behind resistive sensor and how this theory is being used to alter our uh, resistive sensors to use in our daily life. The resistance factor depend on mainly three factors. As we know, the formula for resistance change means the basic formula for resistance change is rho L by A, where rho means resistivity, L means length of the resistor, A means area of cross section. Any change in the above three factors will be also a change in resistance. So whenever we change any of the factors like L, A, rho is a constant because it depends on the material. So whenever we change length or the cross section area, there will be a change in the resistance. So this phenomenon is considered and made use of it in our application as sensor. So whenever there is a change in A or L, there will be a change in resistor. So whenever there is a change in resistance, automatically there will be a change in current and voltage. So as we said, one type of energy is being converted into another type. The other type is here electrical energy. Electrical energy, we talked like an electrical energy means which depends on current and voltage. So where there is a change in resistance, there will be a change in voltage and current. So here there is being sensing of some particular factor is being changed. The changed factors are length and area. The most commonly used applications use only change in length and change in area of cross section because resistivity constant in all circumstances. As we said earlier, rho will not change in any circumstances, but only length and area will be changed. Based on this logic, if there is any change in length or area of cross section will be a change in resistance, and also current varies and change is detected and used as a sensor. So as I said, the same part was being projected here. So let's learn further. Okay, now let us learn what are type of resistive sensors. First one is potentiometric sensor. Second one is strain gauge. Third one is thermistor. Fourth one is thermocouple. Fifth one is light dependent resistor, that is called as LDR. And this is resistive temperature detector, that is RTD. So first let us learn what is potentiometric sensor. A potentiometric sensor measures the distance or displacement of an object in a linear or rotatory and convert it into electrical signal. So these type of potentiometric sensors are being used in like factories. So like instrumentation part, where if there is any change in the particular reference object from a distance slightly varying from 0.5 millimeters or any slight change, there will be a huge amount of change in current. If there is a huge amount of change in current, this can be detected by any voltmeter or any meter that is being used there. So if you see here, this is our object, means the wiper object. So whenever this is a resistor that is being connected to a voltmeter here. So this is a slider or wiper. This is a slider or a wiper. So whenever we change the distance from B to some B dash or B to some here up to here, there will be a change in resistance. So whenever there is a change in resistance, we detect some change in voltage here, because why there is a change in voltage means there is a change in the resistance. Why there is a change in resistance means the reference object was moved a distance B to B dash. So this is a simple example of linear type potentiometer sensor. So the same principle being used here. What if a sensor that is being placed in a sphere or any rotatory object? We cannot measure the voltage in a linear form. So definitely we need to have another instrument here. So that instrument is called rotatory type potentiometer sensor. So here there is a there is the here we measured in a linear form, means like meters, centimeters, or any other linear distance forms. But here we are going to measure in degrees, means angle. If there is an change in angle of 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90, or any other type of angle, there will be a change in resistance. So whenever there is a change in resistance, voltage changes, and that voltage change is a signal of change in position. So here how this rotatory type potentiometer is used as a sensor. So let's learn other type of resistive sensors. So when there is as here resistor whole resistance is due to which there will be a change in current. So when there is a change in current, we can say that desired value of not getting output, hence potentiometer can be used as a sensor. Now let us learn what is a thermistor and what is a thermocouple sensor. Because thermistor and thermocouple are the both same sensors, because both are used for the sensing of change in temperature. They have the same working principle. I mean, they have the same working, they are used for same working devices, but have different working principles. In thermistor, the variation in temperature changes the resistance of their material, while in thermocouple, the change in temperature includes the voltage between wires and different metals. So let us learn first what is a thermistor and later what is a thermocouple. Before going to what is a before going to know what is a thermistor, let us know what is a NTC type, what is a PTC type sensor. NTC means negative temperature coefficient sensor. PTC means a positive temperature coefficient. Thermistor can be a NTC type or a PTC type. NTC type of thermistor resistance means resistance decreases as temperature rises. NTC are commonly used in inrush current limiters. So whenever there is a decrease in temperature, it means there is a rise in temperature, and PTC type is exactly opposite of NTC type. That means when there is a increase in resistance, there will be a decrease in temperature. PTC thermistors are commonly used over current protection and are resettable. So whenever there is a increase in resistance means there is an increase in temperature. So NTC and PTC can be used are the two type of thermistor sensor. And one more important point is thermistor is a semiconductor device, means it is not like a metal, it is semiconductor, means semi metal. So here we can observe the graphs of NTC type of thermistor and PTC type of thermistor. These two are mainly used for overcurrent protection and self-regulating heat elements, inrush current limiters, and many other examples. So these are the basics of the NTC and PTC thermistors. Now let us learn what is a thermocouple. A thermocouple is comprised of couple of specific dissimilar wires joined together forming a sensing point or junction. Based on physical characteristics called thermoelectric effect, when its junction is placed at different temperatures, different millivolt signals are generated, which can be interpreted as an indication of a temperature. So let us learn deep into what is a thermocouple. Thermocouple has an effect, Seebeck effect being used. So what is a Seebeck effect? So whenever in a Seebeck effect, this was found in 1870 by the scientist Seebeck, where he has used two type of junctions. These two type of junctions are being created using three different type of materials. One is these different type of materials are like antimony, copper, and bismuth. So antimony, bismuth, these are being coupled together forming a hot junction, and bismuth and antimony are separately connected with copper to form a cold junction. So whenever this copper is connected with either of antimony or bismuth, there is a copper junction being created. So whenever there is a cold junction is being created, that the words of cold junction means a cold temperature is being sensed there, and at the hot junction we are going to sense our temperature of the room or temperature of any object. And this was, so here if you see, we can see it clearly. So here we are going to use our body, means the reference body or the body by which we are going, for which we are going to see the temperature. So here we are going to see the temperature of a body. Here we are going to see, so here is the hot junction is being created, and sorry, is being created, and here it is the cold means cold wire, and it is the hot wire. So whenever there is here we have the cold junction, here we have the hot junction. So when we place an object here, there will be a change in voltmeters, means the milli we are going to see changes in the voltage. So whenever there is a change in voltage, we can say that there is a change in temperature. Next, we are going to learn about light dependent resistor. An LDR is a component that has a resistance that changes with the light resistivity and falls upon it. This allows them to be used in light sensing circuits. These resistors are mainly used when there is a need to sense the absence and presence of light, such as Bulger alarm circuit, alarm clock, light intensity meters, etc. The resistance of a photoresistor or LDR decreases with increasing the intensity of incident light. So it means it has inverse relation between resistance and light. So this is an LDR resistor where we are This is also a semiconductor sensor. So whenever there is a light incident on this particular semiconductor part, there will be an excitation of electrons. So whenever there is an excitation of electrons from the valence, means we already know from the Einstein's Einstein's theory, we know that whenever there is whenever there is an excitation of energy on a particular object or any particular atom, there will be an excitation of electron from valence bond to the conduction bond. So the same principle is being used here. So light is also an energy, which is uh, electromechanical energy. So when there is excitation of energy on it, means the light is when it is incident on this particular material, there will be an excitation of electrons. So whenever there is an excitation of electrons, means there will be a passage of electrons, and which means like a current is flowing through it. So whenever there is a flow of current, which means there is some light is being projected on it, means which is going to send some light. So this is how a LDR is used as a photoresistor, means which is going to sense the light. Now we are going to learn a resistance temperature dependent sensor, which is also called as RTD sensor. So resistance thermometers, which are sensors used to measure temperature. The RTD wire is a pure material, typically platinum, nickel or copper. As the temperature of the metal increases, the resistance of flow of electricity also increases. As electrical current is passed to the sensor, the resistance element is used to measure the resistance of the current is being passed through it. So whenever we expose this type of LDR, the metal part, which is made of platinum, nickel or copper, to a temperature part, means high temperature part, there will be an expansion in the material, because as we know, whenever we give heat to the metals, they expand on heating. So whenever there is an expansion in the metal, there is an increase of length or the cross section area. So we know from the formula R is equal to rho L by A, there is a change in L as well as A. So there will be definitely change in the resistance. So whenever there is a change in resistance, current is also changed. So this is how we are going to sense the temperature using RTD sensor. Now let us learn what is a strain gauge. Strain gauge is also a resistor type of sensor whose resistance varies with applied force. It converts force, pressure, tension, weight, etc. into change in electrical resistance, which can be measured. As their name indicates, they are used for measurement of strain. The strain gauge works on the principle of electrical conductance, and it depends on conductor's geometry. Whenever a conductor is stretched within the limits of its elasticity, it does not break out, get narrower and longer. Due to this, there will be a change in resistance of the material. So this type of strain gauge is basically used in bridges. So whenever we see an old bridge, people, means the engineer people, go there using a strain gauge. They see how much stress is being applied on a certain bridge. If there is a more amount of strain or the stress is being applied on that particular bridge, they are going to calculate the age of the bridge. So how long can the means the bridge can sustain a particular weight, or how long can the bridge can sustain the working conditions. So this type of strain gauge is not only used in bridges but also some other applications in bagging systems in the factories or any other type of daily type applications. So using strain gauge, whenever there is a force applied on particular strain gauge, there will be change in resistance. So change in resistance means there will be a change in uh, the current or the voltage. So this is how a strain gauge resistive sensor is being used for the sensing in our daily life. Okay, thank you friends. Now, we'll be learning about the conductive sensor and also inductive sensor in our upcoming videos. Thank you.